Yo, this is Stocks and Bars, the Stock Market Hip Hop Podcast, the only place you will find finance mixed with hip hop. And this is part 2 of our conversation with Jon Connor. Make sure you stick around, and we're going to get to the bars, and we're going to show you so much more. Let's go. I got my clique ready to use the money they got from jobs, encouraging, teaching them that it's not so hard. I'm doing this, making investing pop. You law, it's extra. You tuning in to Stocks and Bars.
Yeah, now that we get into it, right? Let's switch it on to the financial literacy part of things, right? Because right now this is a very hot topic. We got EYL. We got a lot of people who are pushing to our culture to learn more about finances. So with that being said, I started this because I feel like hip hop should be part of that. So what do you think hip hop can contribute in order to help that financial literacy continue to grow?
I think that, for me personally, when I was in the point of my life where I wanted to sign younger artists, I did a class called Industry Etiquette. And it was actually a curriculum where I taught them about the business of the music business, where I actually showed them the contract that I signed with Interscope, Universal, Aftermath, where I showed them the contract I had to sign to get out of that. I showed them the first management, contract that I ever signed. I showed them, I remember when we started talking about signing agreements with each other, I wouldn't sign it unless their parent came and sat, and if they didn't understand, I was going to make sure at least their parent understood what they were signing. I think that hip hop, and I'm sorry for cussing on here, but I got to just say what it is. I think it's bullshit. It's not my business to teach you the business. I think it is all of our business to teach each other the business, especially for one, we already got a strike against us, and I'm keeping it real being black in America. Yep. So it's like you already have a system that's not set up for the average black person to win in general. So then you mean to tell me if I am talented enough and I find a way to make it in music, so now I got to try to figure this out again, and even my own people are going to take advantage of me. And I think that there's a lot of that in the music business. There's a lot of I would call it it's disgusting to me, so I don't even know how to put a name on it. But it's like, whereas the way I am, I look at it, first of all, I am a humanitarian. I love all people. But because I am a black person, I understand the black struggle in America. There is no way I could look at another black person in the face and know that I'm screwing them and know that I'm fucking them out of their money. There's no way.
I can't go to sleep at night if that happens.
But bro, that is what the music business is built on. Like, it's people that are so greedy, and it's like, well, I got fucked over, so you got to get fucked over. Almost looking at it like it's a rite of passage. You got to go through this because I went. It's like, no, why don't you just stop the cycle? So what I think hip hop can contribute to financial literacy, I think not just in public forums, because I see cats like Killer Mike. I seen Chameleonaire do it. I seen a lot of people at certain forums and stuff, at these events. I think it should be an everyday thing. If you run into an artist like what DJ Paul did for me, having the conversation and having the dialogue is how hip hop can contribute to financial literacy. When DJ Paul asked me, "How's you eating, man? Your album ain't came out." That blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? It was, for one, because he cared enough to ask. You know what I'm saying? And because he knows how this is supposed to go, and he saw the situation that I was in, he actually had just a human to human care. I think that's what I think that's what hip hop needs more of. Instead of us bigging each other up about BS and the jewelry we done bought, when you meet a young, instead of just giving a young artist a feature, have a talk with him. Sit and talk with him like, bro, are you good? Are you eating? How's your deal structured? You okay? Do you have an accountant? Do you have somebody in your circle that's watching your finances? Hey, man, this is one thing, and I'm going to say this on your platform because I want to give the secrets away. Because I don't want anybody to ever go through. I've had highs and lows in the music business, and I feel like the reason that I went through them is to try to stop some young artists from going through any of the lows that I went through. Listen, man, when you get your advance, This is what you do.
Write it down. Get your pens, everybody.
They're gonna try to make you record in a bunch of studios that cost a lot for you to be in, and it's coming out of your budget for you to record in those studios. Take your advance money, buy the equipment yourself, put it in your house, and then you charge the label for you recording in your own house. So it's just them giving your money back to you instead of them taking your money and giving it to a studio. And then it's like you never had the money to begin with. So anybody that's in the music business knows that I just really gave a gem just now.
Yeah, that's
Take
dope
your
right
advance, get your own equipment, put it in your house, and then tax the label as if you're the studio so you can get your money back. That's what you do. Things like that. I didn't learn things like that until later on when I was about to get out of my deal. So it's like, had I known a lot of those things, man, going into this situation, you know what I'm saying? I would have been a lot better off just mentally knowing those things. So whenever I can, pull the curtain back or expose certain things or sit a young artist down and tell them things that they wouldn't know unless you've been through it, I love doing it, man. So I think that's what hip hop can do to raise the awareness of financial literacy. Be transparent. Instead of just giving somebody a verse, instead of popping bottles in the club with them, instead of helping them go broke faster, why don't you actually be like a genuine human and like let this young person know how they should spend their money, when they should be getting paid, the type of people that should be around them, the type of accountants and business lawyers that they should set up around them. Like educate them on how to keep the money, not just how to get the money.
Man, listen. Okay. So this resonates with me also because I feel like there's not enough OGs right now. Let me take that back. There's not enough of this information coming back full circle, like you said, to teach younger people. One of the things that I learned as far as investing, right? I went through all of these ups and downs and I got to where I'm at now because I went through all those bumps. So the minute that I finally figured out, I'm like, yo, this is working for me. I'm going back. Now I'm going back and I'm saying, yo, you don't have to do that. This is what you can do. Here's your shortcut, right? We need the OGs. We need somebody who's going to be the mentor in order to help you avoid those same traps and pitfalls. So it doesn't have to be repeated. It doesn't make any sense to see somebody else go through the same exact thing that you just did.
The same exact thing?
It's like,
it's crazy.
He was like, I could have told you. Like, no, then why didn't you?
Then why didn't Bro, I've always thought that. Like I say, the most disgusting phrase in show businesses is not my business to teach you the business. That's bullshit. It is. Yeah. Each one teach one. That's what I grew up around.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm on too. That's why I do this podcast. That's why I started my website. I just wanted to be that vessel because I realized I'm just like you on a human tip. I realized what my purpose on life was at that 22-year-old version of myself. I realized that everybody's responsibility is to be able to pass it on because no one's here forever. So what your responsibility is to make sure that you are the blueprint for somebody so they can be the better version and they build upon it. And that's the simplicity of it. If you think, like, bro, we about to get deep, right? So when you think about when you think about everything about life, right? I did a podcast on this before. Earth science, they taught us the water cycle. They taught us the rock cycle, right? Everything is a cycle. Humans have the point of being linear. We have this thing where we just go and there's an end point. So nothing comes back. And that's what's killing us. We don't have anything that comes back in. We make waste, and the waste is what kills us. So what we need to do is have whatever is the waste product needs to feed back into the beginning, which is the OG. The OG says, wait a minute, I've already been through this, and now we recycle everything and say, this is what's wrong, don't do this. Seed planted, everything repeats once more.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it. The simplicity of life
You just hit the nail on the head.
It's a cycle. We gotta complete the cycle and stop making it linear. Once we do that,
come on, man,
we're good, man.
I agree. What's understood don't even need to be clarified.
All right, I went off topic. My bad. So let me jump back to it.
No, absolutely. It needed to be said.
Yeah, man. This is really easy. We make it difficult.
Yes, we do.
We put too many things in the way of it, and it is not that difficult. Like you said, on a human level, that conversation you had, that could have been had many years ago, right?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I told you.
Everybody was in the way that wanted to make sure they ate off of you, so they kept you in the dark.
Correct. It's crazy. And like I say, man, I'm a very spiritual person, so I just thank God that, you know, those things never made me a bitter person. It just made me a better person. Man.
Yeah. All right, let's move along on this one, right? So we got the people that we talked about that's on a higher scale. We got the Jay-Z's, we got the Nas's, we got the Diddy's and all that, right? And they've broken out into entrepreneurship. So is there anything that you're doing right now that is making you an entrepreneur?
Well, man, I think taking my career back in my own hands and becoming the owner of all things Jon Connor. You know, I'm in the Jon Connor business. You feel me?
Yeah.
Whereas like, you know, owning my own company, doing everything myself, you know what I'm saying? As far as right now, I'm writing my book, is still coming out with music, coming out with merch and doing all of those type of things. And then just building to get to that point where I do want to invest in other things, you know, outside of music. I was just talking to my cousin Ronnie. I just was at a wedding this past weekend, and me and him were talking about like just investing in a lot of things. And that's where I'm looking to go, because the majority of my life has been just music. And so now with me, I want to just take everything that I've learned and invest in other things. And so my cousin Ronnie and me were talking about that, and it was just a beautiful thing. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing, like just getting into other things outside of music. Now, what those things are, I don't know yet, because I've been so entrenched in music for so long. But it's like I'm at the point in my life where I want to diversify beyond just music. But owning my own company, writing and doing everything that I'm doing on my own within show business and taking ownership of that is me expressing my entrepreneurial spirit, man.
Yeah. One of the things that I've learned along my path is every time I learn something, I always come back to my core group and like, yo, I just learned this. Check this out, right? I'm always coming back with it to my original trio of friends, you know, my circle that I have, especially when it came to investing. Anything that I ever learned, I always came back and said, I just learned this. My excitement is just all over the place when I get that opportunity to come back and tell somebody, because I know, like I told you, I just got to be that vessel. And that's just something, that's just a trait in me that I got to make sure that I fulfill. So we're going to talk about the collaboration part. Earlier, we talked about how you linked up with Willie the Kid. First of all, that's the Michigan connection. How did you two link up?
Man, me and Willie the Kid linked up because at the time, we were truly grinding, and we were just getting in the car and going to every city in Michigan, trying to do shows wherever we could. So when we went through Grand Rapids, I feel like we ended up being on a lot of shows with Willie the Kid. His management and my management ended up getting cool with each other. Okay. And then me and Willie ended up getting cool with each other. And then we just hit it off, man. We was two peas in a pod. Like, he was just real recognized real, man.
Yeah, I got busy on that record too, man.
Thank you. That's actually, like, to this day, I think that might be top 5 of my favorite collaborations.
Okay. That's dope, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, just the vibe of the music, like, you know what I'm saying? And of course, me and him went in, but it's just like the music, the way I write songs is the music gives me the words, man. Yeah. So it was just, that vibe was just so strong, man.
Yeah, man. When I that takes me back, you know, the whole album was dope, by the way. But that just takes me back to the time when you actually went to the studio to record with somebody, right? Because nowadays it's just, and I'm not saying it's bad, it's just different, right? Right. If I say, yo, hop on this track with me, I can send you the beat, you can send me the verse, and that's all good. But back then, you had to be in the studio with your person, and y'all vibed, and you got, you know, whatever environment that you in that y'all vibing, and y'all say, yo, what do you think about this? And you spit it. Like, yeah, that's dope. You flowing off of it. That energy is a lot easier to get contagious, in my opinion, when you in that close quarters in the studio. So Y'all made that collaboration, right? And I want to actually jump to collaborations as far as the industry goes. Like, what have you done as far as collaborations in business is concerned? Have you had any experience in collaboration in business yet?
Wow. No, because everything was always just me. I think early on when me and former NBA player Mateen Cleaves, like we started
Yeah,
like
yeah. I saw that connection that you had in Michigan
yeah,
State. Yeah.
we kind of like from 2010 to 2019, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we were the co-owners of the company that, you know what I'm saying, we were pushing. So that's probably like but I've always been very independent minded. I've always been the type of dude that I know where I want to go and I know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know, and maybe in the second half of my life, I will collaborate more with people on business ventures because you have to. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? But the thing is, up until this point, I would have to say, man, it's just been me, man.
Okay. So you'll end up getting to that point at that
For
when you
sure.
get there.
Because it's
So
necessary. It's very
yeah,
necessary.
yeah, relationships are important. And my next question to you is, you've built those relationships from the very beginning to where you're at now. So how have those relationships helped you grow up until the point that you're at?
Well, because I think that you can learn something. You learn something from every human that you have an interaction with.
Right.
You know, even if you just say hi to somebody while you're at the corner store or at, Walgreens or something, it's something that you could learn from that person based off, their experiences, man. So I think, man, just all of the relationships, I always just try to find the gem in whatever somebody's saying to me or their journey, or I try to take something like, I like how they did that, or okay, I see that there's another way I could have went about this by watching somebody else. So the relationships that I have with people in the music business and just in life itself, I'm always picking up gems. I'm always seeing what works for other people and trying to see how that can apply to my journey as well.
All right. Yeah, man. So we talked about earlier about the irresponsibilities of hip hop and,
Yes.
how people, jewelry, all that type of stuff. We always talk about making it rain. We can right now list about 5 different songs talking about throwing money in the air and spending it somewhere. I personally like to get rid of the word spend because that's finality. Like when you spend, that money is gone. I like the word circulate because that means it comes back to you. And I'm also a big fan of energy because the words you speak, they make existence happen for something, right? I've said this many a times. Everything you've ever seen in front of you was a thought by somebody. And because they spoke it, it came into existence. And that's what we do, right? So we talked about the making it rain, all that. So let's talk about some responsible financial decisions. Can you share with me some stories about some financial decisions that you made that were responsible, or some other artists that you've seen was like, hey, maybe I should do that too?
Every artist should be responsible in the terms of make sure you pay your taxes, make sure you get health insurance, make sure, because that's stuff that I ended up having to learn. Because you don't care about that type of stuff.
No, when you're young, you just got the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. But those were things that I had to like. Oh, it actually those things do matter. But I just think when I think of mature financial decisions was always make sure you got something for a rainy day. That plan for the rainy day, plan for those times when maybe whatever business it is that you're in slows down, you know what I'm saying? And you always got something in the back pocket. You don't want to just blow everything out the gate as if everything is always going to be, just so fluid, because sometimes it's not. And that's with any business. Any billionaire tell you, you know what I'm saying? They've went broke before and had to get rich again. Like you know what I'm saying? You got to go through that. So there's like always keep something in the back pocket, always keep something on the side for that rainy day, for when whatever business you in isn't as lucrative as it once was, because all businesses goes through ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it
Not
does.
just music, everything. You can watch the stock market and see that. Sometimes something will be super high, sometimes things will be super low. So it's like I just think that being wise with understanding that money is an unpredictable current, you know what I'm saying, that you can't always predict. So just always make sure you invest wisely and make sure you still got some bread for that rainy day.
Yeah. You mentioned how things change, and things have drastically changed from the early 2000s to where we're at now. We talk about financially, well, not financially. We're just talking about the industry in general, right? We have CDs and tapes and all that stuff. Then that transitioned over. Now all that's phased out. You can't even really go buy an album anywhere, and everything is now streaming. So let's talk about that change. How has that impacted you from the CD days and how things have changed to the streaming now? How has that impacted you personally?
You know, I saw a clip of Snoop talking about it, and I echo his sentiments. It's that, you know, how do you have millions of streams, but you don't have millions of dollars?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the truth of the matter. You know, it sucks because back in the day, you know, even in high school, that's how I bought my first, I bought my equipment for my first studio from, selling CDs at school. I was selling them for $10 a piece. So every day I was coming home with like, hundreds of dollars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like legit. And that's how I bought my first studio. So it definitely hurts the music business. It hurts all the show business. I see that's even why the writers in film right now are on strike, because streaming is like, when you go to the box office or you go to the movie theater and buy a ticket, okay, you get bread. But if your movie's going directly to like Netflix or Disney Plus, you don't have to pay for a ticket. It's not generating, you know what I'm saying? It's not generating money like that. So the writers is like, yo,
where my money at?
Doing?
Yeah.
You know, where's the money at? So, you know, it's impacted all of us greatly. But with me personally, with my next album and with all of the albums that I'm coming out with next, I'm still going to release physical copies because music is what I do. You know, that's what I do for a living. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. So it's like, you know, it's just a way to get, I had another train of thought as I was talking. Think about this. I'm sorry, I'm an Aries, man. It happens, bro. So think about this, man.
Go ahead.
When you back in the day, like you had a literal physical thing, like the music was on a physical CD and with records and tapes and all of that. Like it's scary to think.
We got
that,
diggable planet, you know, it's diggable. Oh, you can't see diggable planets. We got there.
It's scary to think, man, that let's say whoever's in control of like iTunes and Apple Music, Spotify, let's just say they just wanted to delete an artist. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just said, I don't like this artist. We want to delete this person. So now there's no physical, tangible evidence that this artist ever existed.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Like, let's say 15 years from now, let's just say whoever's in control is like, we don't like what Lil Wayne stood for. So we just gonna delete Lil Wayne from that's like a real possibility.
It is, yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you couldn't do that with CDs or records because it's like, what do you mean delete them? I own it. I have it in my hand. Like it's a real thing. So it is just kind of scary when you think about streaming and how it's like, it's not even a real thing. Like it doesn't, where does it exist at?
Yeah.
It exists in the iCloud or whatever.
And then where's that exist at? Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm still going to come out with vinyl, CDs, and tapes, you know what I'm saying, of my music, because I think that, you know, music is more than just something you nod your head to. It's actually a documentation of what society was going through at that time. So it's like, I think if for nothing else, it's important for us to still have these physical evidence and tangible, you know what I'm saying, tangible pieces of music, so that years from now, should the internet shut down, you'll always be able to look back or listen to a Nas, a Jay-Z, a Jon Connor, or whoever your favorite artist is, and be able to remember what was going on at that time. Because, you know, you could erase whole parts of history by not having music be tangible and a physical thing, man.
Yo, I'm gonna go off on a tangent with this one, right? We going on the same way. I have this theory, right, that humans have gotten too smart in the past and extinct themselves. Let's go with this, right? So
I'm riding with you.
We got the cycle that we just talked about, right? So I got a calculator in front of me. Okay, before we had calculators, how do we calculate math? We would write it down. We would use whatever other tool to help us calculate it faster, but we would still know how to do it. So we are in this point right now. Cats can't do math, bro. They can't do simple multiplication. So this is now our slave, right? So I have this theory that we got so advanced at one point that technology got that advanced that there's no record of them, and that actually everyone had to start over, and then they went back to having to write things down and redo life. That's just that's my thing that I think happened.
I don't think that's not that theory is not too far out there, man. That actually, when we get off of this, I'm probably gonna be thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real, bro.
Yeah.
Like you think about it. Like you said, you become slaves to technology, man. It's crazy. And now humans don't know how to do anything. Even like, remember back in the day, dog, before GPS, like
you had a map.
Think of here's the thing. Think of how much just the invention of like GPS has set us back, right?
Right.
But to think about it like this. Okay, GPS just tells you where to go. Back in the day, you'd stop at a gas station and you'd ask like a gas station attendant, like, hey, how far is it to the da-da-da-da-da, or blah, blah, blah. You feel me?
Yep.
So now, because of GPS, you've stopped another form of human communication and interaction.
Yep.
We didn't used to be so scared of each other. We used to just be like, oh yeah, just stop at this gas station up here and ask him if he knows, right? So now you cut out another form of human interaction. Then also, you'd buy a map. You used to like have to know how to like read a map and estimate how many north, south, east, west. Like, you know what I'm saying? All of these like tools are gone now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we think that all of this technology is good, but really it's just making us lazier and it's making us dumber.
Yep.
You know, because it's like if there's parts of your brain that you're not using anymore because you don't have a reason to. Back in if I can't remember something on the spot, I don't want somebody to Google it for me. It's like, no, I want to use my brain to actually remember whatever it is that I'm trying to remember. It's like, it's crazy, man.
We ate like some of this. We're going to keep running with it because we be hot with it, right? So the whole theory of the telephone, how the telephone got created, was Alexander Bell was operating on the idea that telepathy was real because it's a part of your brain that actually works, that can communicate with another human without saying anything. So this is what he was trying to recreate with the phone. And it's real because when you think about it, there have been plenty of times that you can recall in your life where you thought of somebody and all of a sudden they ended up contacting you, right? That was a subconscious thing that you did and you had no idea how to actively control it. So anyway, the phone was built in order to mimic that part of the brain. So now here we are, we have no idea how to use it, right? This is part of my theory why I think it's real, because back then humans probably knew how to say, all right. It was like, I'm gonna summon so-and-so, and they're gonna be like, yo, right? And then all of a sudden it's on. But now you got the phone, which is cool, but at the same point in time, is it?
See,
we got so many parts of our brain.
You about to make me go deeper with you, bro. You about to make me go deeper.
Hey, we could do this all day. I love thinking.
So, bro, I 100% agree with you, right?
Yeah.
So, bro.
Go ahead. Yes.
So, do you acknowledge the existence of your conscious?
Yes.
Right. That when you wake up every day, like there's a voice or an intuition that says to you, I want some chicken today. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what is that voice?
Yeah.
And
what
why
is that?
why is it telling you to do that? See, our human like understanding is just thinking, oh, because I'm hungry, I want some chicken. Man, I feel like that conscious voice is connected to every other conscious voice. It's connected to every bird, every animal, every person, every living thing is connected to the planet itself, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this conscious voice is talking to all of us at the same time. So even though it's just telling you out, it's saying to you in your voice, I want some chicken today. You being en route to go get the chicken is going to make you cross paths with the person who's going to give you the opportunity. And y'all going to be like, oh, man, you want a chicken today? You know what? I do this too. I do this too. And then that ends up flourishing into something else. But it's like that voice is inside of everything, bro. And going back to what you were saying, I think that these inventions have put too much noise in our head to where we can't hear that conscious voice. The voice is like, we start getting in the way of that voice. The voice that's telling you, hey man, you should call your mama today. That, you feel me? Because your mom probably woke up thinking, I miss my son today. But because we have so many things that are blocking us, like, okay, now the voice says, call your mom today. But then if I look at my phone and I see some big booties on Instagram, now I'm distracted. It's taking me away from the consciousness of doing what I'm supposed to do, which is probably call my mom or whatever the case may be. So going back to what you said, man, I think technology is blocking that that telepathic voice that, you know what I'm saying, that is in all of us. I think you're absolutely correct. Because if you rewind time before cars, before internet, before television, before, when there was just nothing but humans and the truth. That's all there was.
Existed,
Humans and the truth. Nothing to distract you. The truth is, I'm going to wake up, the sun's going to be there, and all I have to entertain me is the amazement of the truth.
That's
that
it.
that there are seasons, that there are plants growing from the ground, that babies come out of women, that there was nothing but the unadulterated truth. And now I feel like there's so many inventions that distract us from the truth that we act all confused, like we don't know what's going on. But really, if you separate, if you eliminate everything that man created, all you're left with is the truth. And I think that when you do that, your theory doesn't sound as crazy as someone might think.
Somebody gonna think we crazy, but I don't care. This is
exactly. Somebody gonna watch this. Oh, they talking that all other this. Like,
I'm seeing on something else. Like, I'm turning this off.
It's real, man.
I'm a firm believer in Newton's laws of physics applying to humans. That energy is neither created nor destroyed, just transferred. So everything that is here has always been, and there's nothing new under the sun. So I tell my daughters all the time to guard their energy for the reason that you hit a pond, the ripple continues to go until it touches something else. And even that energy transforms into something else. Like this is realism. We just got to understand it. The simplicity of life is really this simple. We make it too complicated. Like you said, all the noise in our head from technology. Dead all of it. Just keep it simple. Like personally, bro, I like to go outside and I'll just listen to the wind, right? I'll look at the trees, just the leaves blow. I hear the birds. I hear all that stuff. That's the simplicity. The waves crash. Bro.
I am the most nature loving rapper of all. Bro, that's what I do in my free time, bro. I literally just go sit. It's like it's a couple parks by where I stay. I just go out in the park, man, and really just enjoy nature. I actually I posted on my Facebook today. I said, people, a quote, somebody said a quote one time. They said, it amazes me how humans can normalize even the most breathtaking of God's creations. You feel me?
That's deep.
How do you look at the sky every day and it's just, oh, that's normal? That's not normal.
No, that's not.
That's like the most beautiful thing. Like, that's crazy. Bro, sometimes I'll look at the sky and I'll look at, because airplanes are huge, right?
Right.
You ever looked at how small an airplane looks
in,
in comparison to the sky?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, when what I put on my Facebook today was like, do we ever just sit and think like, You mean to tell me I can plant a seed in the ground and then actual food that nourishes my body grows out of this thing that I'm standing on right now? How? Wait, how? Like, bro, these things are amazing, but we are so confused and so distracted by so much irrelevant, petty, minute stuff that we don't realize the amazing gifts that are surrounding us on an everyday basis, bro. So we're in total agreement, man.
Yeah. This podcast will be 50 hours long because I can keep going on it, man.
Right.
I just watched a documentary.
We kick it, man. Like on some real talk, bro.
I just watched documentaries about the ocean. Ocean fascinates me more than space because it just keeps going further and further down, and there's no documentation about what's down there. And then the space, bro. One last conspiracy theory. You know, we don't know, right? Fam, tell me how on earth you can have a convenience store that has a camera and it's all grainy, but you can tell me that they can shoot all the way out in space and it'd be HD crystal clear. All right. So I'm like, yo, so is that computer generated and they've been working on that all this time and they telling me that this is real? Because that technology jump don't make sense to me, right? Like,
bro, doesn't make sense to me either. And and like you said, hey man, we just two humans trying to figure it out. So,
like somebody connect this dot for me. Holler at me and let me know why.
Bro, when I found out like the first couple of space landings or whatever was like actually filmed in a studio in Burbank, California.
Oh yeah,
see man, but you know, it's like I'll tell you something that tripped me out because I'm one of them dudes where I'm like slight weight, possibly a flat earther. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I'm not saying I am, but it's like I can't 100% say whether I believe the earth is round or flat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But one thing that tripped me out is my spirit recently was telling me to read the Bible, right? My spirit, my intuition was like, read the Bible from beginning to end and it'll help you get some answers, right? This is interesting. I'm glad I'm getting to share this with you. Then other people are going to get to see this, right? So I'll make a long story short, but it's just about space and it's in regards to what you were just talking about, right? So I started reading Genesis, right? And so I remember a while back, I asked a friend of mine, I said, why do they say the sky is blue? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you, why do they say the sky is blue?
They say the sky is blue because of the reflection of the light or whatever.
Okay,
right?
Exactly. See, that's what they told me in school too, right?
Yeah.
But something about it just didn't sit right with me. And one thing I know, as I said, I'm very spiritual. So I know that God, the universe, doesn't move in confusion. God is 1 + 1 = 2. Anything that's confusion is probably wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? So because that answer that you just gave me, that my other friend gave me, didn't make sense to me, I kept saying, well, that doesn't make sense to me. And this is why it didn't make sense. Because you've been in an airplane before, right?
Right.
Okay, and so have I. So when I'm in an airplane, the sky isn't blue, it's clear. And how do I know it's clear? Because clouds are white. Because you go through the clouds, right?
Right.
But when we're on the ground, it looks like the white clouds are in the blue sky, but that's bullshit. The white clouds are in this space of clear.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And when you're in an airplane, if you look up, it's still blue. Right?
Right.
So I says to myself, I started reading the Bible. I said, the sky isn't blue, it's clear. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the clouds are in the sky. So anyway, I'm reading the Bible and my cousin said, yeah, man, whenever I get to that part right there, I get confused. I said, why? He said, because it says, God created a firmament. He said, what the hell is a firmament? And I said, well, why you ain't never look it up? And he was like, I don't know, cuz I just did. So as I'm reading the Bible, I got my dictionary next to me, right, while I'm reading it. And I look up the word firmament. And then it said, separation, semicolon, sky. Right? So then I says to myself, while I'm reading the part that he was talking about that confused him, it says in the Bible, God used a firmament to separate the waters from the waters, right? So I said, wait a minute. So
it's another
I said,
form
wait a
of
minute.
water.
So you mean to tell me so in the beginning, all there was water. And then there was a firmament, which translates to sky, that got put in the middle to separate the two waters. So is the water that we look at as oceans, lakes, and ponds and all of that, that's the water we see.
Yeah.
So is the sky blue because what we're literally seeing is the water in heaven, and what we're living in is the firmament that separates the water we have on earth from the water in heaven?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, mind blown that that we're possibly literally looking at heaven every day.
Yeah, you take the card for that one. Because I never thought about it that way. I just kind of accepted that reality. Like, fam, everything's a Truman Show now, right?
Everything's the Truman Show now, bro. It is literally the riddle that keeps on giving, bro.
Yo, all right, yeah, we both gonna be thinking we definitely have to reconnect on this one because this is.
We are, man. I'm
easy.
down whenever.
Yeah,
man.
This is easy. All right, let's go ahead with the finance part. If we lost y'all, come back to it. All right. Yeah. So now that we got that part done, right, we're gonna talk back about hip hop. All right, so hip hop, you got into the game. Who can you consider as your hip hop mentor?
Personally, or just somebody that I admired from afar?
Let's say personally.
Personally, I would say, man, I will have to give it to DJ Paul.
DJ Paul,
because he's always been there whenever I needed help understanding anything. Like whether it was a verse or whether it was financial advice or whether just a friend to listen. And also my man DJ Silk, who I met while I was at Aftermath. He produced What You Gonna Do for J.O. Felony back in the day, produced a lot of stuff for Dre. My man DJ Silk, and we got a project coming out together.
Okay.
But same way, he's the dude who actually pulled me aside and started making me understand the legal jargon. And it was like he wouldn't stop until I understood.
That's
like, yo,
you
need to know this.
You
need to know this. You know, so DJ Silk and it's funny, both of them are DJs. So DJ Silk and DJ Paul, I would say, are my mentors when it comes to the business of the music business.
All right. So next question is, you got a hip hop mentor. Do you have anybody that you consider as a financial mentor?
My mother. Your
mom? Okay.
I would say my mother and my father to an extent, and my cousin Ronnie would be my mentors financially. Okay.
And then last one here. We got last question. We got a piece of advice to an aspiring artist. What would you tell them right now? We already shed light on the studio part. Because that's also kind of reminiscent to what Shaq said on Drink Champs about how he got the itemized bill from them and they were charging him for studio time. He was like, I got the studio. What are you talking about? They're getting his money back. So aside from that one, is there anything else that you can give to an aspiring artist as advice?
The advice would be, know who you are before you get into this business. Have a clear identity of self. Keep God first. You might have to start over a bunch of times before you ultimately get where you're trying to go. You have to believe in yourself more than everybody else doesn't believe in you.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Gotta believe in yourself. Nobody else gonna believe in you if you don't believe in you.
At all. I would say surround yourself with people who unselfishly believe in your dream and get more out of seeing you happy than it is them wanting to see themselves become successful from their association with you. Let your intuition lead the way. You are smart enough.
You dropping gems, family.
You know, I'm trying my best to think of everything that a young artist should know. And just because somebody wears a suit or has a desk doesn't mean that they're more intelligent than you.
Right.
That just means they have a suit on and they are in the office. You're equipped. So, and you're equipped to deal with everything that comes in your way, and focus on what people say to you, not how what they say makes you feel.
Listen, the happiness thing. So I run a YouTube series, right? At the end of all my videos, I talk about finance and cool. But the only reason why I like talking about finance is because from where I'm from in Brooklyn, we didn't have much. So when I got to the point of understanding how to protect what I have, I went back and I gave the information out. Like, my website right now is still free because I want to be able to give that to it. And then I got to the point where I had to charge something because people don't respect free. So I still made it affordable. So anyway, the happiness part, we don't take this to heart. A lot of people ain't happy, right?
Correct.
Social media has given everybody this level of anxiety that is just insurmountable. And a lot of times we sit here and we look at other people and we always swear that somebody else is doing way better than me, way happier than me. I need to do XYZ what they're doing. Like, stop. Just be you. There's only one you. That's why you need to be just you, right? That happiness is something that a lot of people will die and never see. And it's sad, man. You know, I try to tell people the most important things you have to do is eat, drink your water, get your exercise, and spend time with people that you love. Because at the end of the day, when people are on their deathbed, they're not asking for more money. They're asking for more time. More time. Yeah, they want to be able to be healthy and spend time with people and laugh and enjoy things. That's the most important thing. We got to get back to understanding that this money is cool, fine, but it don't matter because you can't go to the grave with it.
That's a fact. At the
end of the day, it's got to go somewhere else. And I teach the financial stuff because I know when you all pass, you got to be able to put a foundation so your family can at least be comfortable. So you don't put them in a bad situation. So that's where I'm at with the finance, bro. But
absolutely.
Thank you,
bro. I sincerely mean it, man. Beyond just this interview, dog, let's keep in touch, man. You done made a friend for life. We are like-minded spirits, man. Soldiers of the same struggle, man.
Thank you. Now I want to wrap this up on this one, right? The last one that you did on SOS, you did SOS and SOS 2, right? The lyric that you did, and it was with the Locksmith. I forget what track it was called. I can't remember.
I got a queen by my side. I don't need a sidekick. I don't know. Yeah.
So you hit the lyrics. I don't want my kids to own things. I want my kids to own teams. Right.
Yep. I don't want my kids to own rings. I want my kids to own teams. Yep.
Just listen. This is the bar of the century because this is exactly what I'm teaching my kids now. We gotta have ownership. When I teach the culture through this, we have to have ownership. The only reason why this music business is as successful as it is because we've never taken the time to develop the ownership part of it. They got it mastered, right? They know exactly how to manipulate, and as you highlighted already, they got the young kids. That's why all of us coming up out of these situations have never seen this type of money, and all we're thinking about is the transformational change that we're gonna experience if we have our hands on this money, right? That's why so many times we hang with this big crew of people, we paying for everything, and it's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a fact. That's facts, man.
And I love being the OG part. This is actually my favorite part of life. I love the experience of living it, but now in my 40s, I love being able to say, "Come here, young man."
Right. let me learn you something real quick.
Let me teach you something, right? The toughest part of being an OG is that they can be stubborn. And it's hard to sometimes to crack that shell and say, I'm trying to tell you something, fam. You don't want to go through this. Like I go through this with my kids. They like to learn on their own sometimes, and I got to fall back. And I gotta just kind of referee it sometimes. I'm gonna put a fence around them so they don't go too far. But at the same point in time, I gotta let them experience it on their own. Like my daughter just the other day, it was something like a water bottle, right? No, it was something she had when she was balancing it on something, right? It was something silly. She put like a piece of paper on something, and I was like, this is gonna blow right off, right? And I knew it. The minute she put it there, I was like, this is gonna blow right off. So within like 5 minutes, wind blew and it just blew off. And I was like, I'm sorry I had to let you do that, but you like to learn on your own, right?
Right.
That was the bad part about it. But yeah, the OG part, I love it, man. But your family, thank you. I appreciate you. And I tell everybody who hits my show, I love you because I don't have to physically know anybody or do anything that's going to be like funny feeling or whatever, you know. I think as a black culture, we have gotten away from the word love because we put this funniness, you know, this gay and all that type of stuff. Like, no, fam, listen, I could tell another man, yo, fam, I love you. I want everything that you want to do to fruition. I want everybody that's around you to grow, prosper. I want everything that you want that's going to benefit you. And I want that energy to be contagious and you affect everybody else around you. That's what this is about, man. This is what life is always going to be about. And I'm just doing my part, and I appreciate you being able to share that time with me today, brother.
Well, King, I love you too. And I wish you all the peace, love, and blessings that I wish for myself. And may you stay covered, man. Absolutely. You are king.
Thank you. Thank you. And now it's time for the bars.
Yo, Slim Thug, let me hold this beat for a minute, fam. Put a little finance on this one. Yo. It's stocks and bars. Together they say it's an oxymoron. Hold on tight because I'm about to go off, proving to all of the doubters are wrong. They're bouncing this song, crowd is enjoying it. No one traveling on route to the morning. If you're looking like me, then you're rider with sports. I'll see myself running routes to score, go out on the court, and I'm about to spoil it. I'm more than just taking shots with a ball or on the TV getting shot by the law. I can aspire to be doctors or lawyers. The blackness song can't be ignoring it. Not many like me, but about to be more. On the future because I spot I secure 20 millions when it's got to be yours. And I'm looking forward to see you get all of it. No doubt, then the problem is gone when we unify. Ain't no stopping this force. Together, me and John are entrepreneurs. Tell your parents, cousin, aunties, and uncles. What we doing is a mountain of wonderful. Moving mountains with the sound unconfrontable. If you could do it, look at me if you want the proof. Growth happens from being uncomfortable. No more rapping is feeding us Lunchables. We are actively creating culture rules. No more blacking is being financial fools. I'm breaking down barriers and controlling my words with a mic. Ain't nothing scarier. Audio revolution, you a hearing one. Let's go.
I got the internet going nuts. The one and only you think magnificent, brightest ass.